Hello, I'm Dr. Jane. Are you over 50 and finding that nightly trips to the bathroom are ruining your sleep? Do you feel a weak stream or that frustrating sensation that your bladder never fully empties? What if I told you the culprit might not be your age, but a healthy food that most men consume every day? In this video, I'm going to reveal what that food is and how it acts as a silent enemy to your prostate. We'll debunk the myth that these issues are normal with aging and uncover the root cause that many medications and conventional treatments simply ignore, focusing only on symptoms. Most importantly, I'll share a simple, science-backed strategy to start reversing this condition in just 30 days. Watch until the end to discover how to regain control of your bladder, enjoy peaceful nights of sleep, and reclaim the freedom you thought was gone. The solution is on your plate, and I'll show you exactly what to do. This could be the most important thing you hear in a long time, because there's a food that most men eat almost every day, a food that most people believe is good for you, but it could be harming your prostate right now. This isn't just a bad habit, it's a true silent enemy, and if you don't eliminate or drastically reduce it, no amount of medication, herbal supplements, or specific exercises will give you the freedom you crave. The truth is, your prostate problems aren't just an inevitable part of aging. They're a condition that, in many cases, has been slowly and steadily fueled over decades by the wrong food choices. I'm Dr. Jane, a men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience helping men reclaim their health and peace of mind. I've worked with thousands of men who came to my clinic feeling defeated, tired, and embarrassed, believing their restful nights and personal lives were gone forever. But when we focus not on the symptoms, but on the biological root causes of prostate inflammation, something incredible happens. The body has an innate ability to heal itself if we give it the right tools. And the most powerful tool we have to combat an enlarged prostate isn't a pill or a procedure. It's what you put on your plate. Most men think prostate issues are just a problem of age, but that's a misguided and dangerous belief. The truth is, there's a vicious cycle of inflammation and cellular damage that's the primary cause, and it's fueled by a surprisingly common enemy: dairy, red meat, and sugars. In this video, I'll reveal how these foods are sabotaging your prostate, share the simple strategy to reverse the damage that I've seen work countless times in my clinic, and explain why cutting-edge neuroscience backs every word. Stay with me, because this is more than a dietary guide. It's a roadmap to reclaiming your life. First, let's understand what's really happening with your prostate. I've sat across from hundreds of men, good men, family men, men who've worked hard their entire lives, who look me in the eyes and ask in a weary voice, "Doctor, what happened to me?" With their voices low and their confidence shaken, they weren't just talking about needing to use the bathroom every hour. They were talking about a loss of control, a sense of fragility they'd never felt before. The worst part? Most of them thought it was normal. "I'm just getting older," they'd say, as if prostate weakness was as inevitable as gray hair. But let me tell you something no one else does. Chronic inflammation is the primary cause of benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, which is an enlarged prostate. And if we don't address it, any treatment is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Your body is an incredibly complex biological machine, and the prostate is particularly vulnerable to the environment it lives in. When you eat foods your body isn't designed to process, it triggers an inflammatory response. The prostate cells, in an attempt to protect themselves from damage, begin to inflame. Over time, this chronic inflammation leads to abnormal cell growth, causing your prostate to enlarge and press on the urethra, resulting in all those bothersome symptoms. And while many factors contribute, genetics, stress, there's a trio of foods that act as the primary fuel for this internal fire. These aren't just empty calories, they're biological triggers that activate your worst internal enemies. So, what are these enemies, and how can we fight them? The answer might surprise you and at the same time bring you relief, because the solution is entirely in your hands. The deadly trio for prostate health. I'll be straight with you. There are 3 food groups I see repeatedly in the diets of my patients with prostate issues, and according to the most rigorous science, they're the main culprits behind inflammation. The first is milk and other dairy products. Listen closely because I know this can be hard to hear. For years, we've been told that milk equals strong bones and good health, but for older men, especially those at risk for prostate issues, dairy can be a slow poison. Multiple major studies, including a massive review published in Prostate Cancer and Prostatic Diseases, found a significant correlation between high dairy consumption and an increased risk of prostate cancer. The reason is twofold. First, dairy contains high levels of calcium, which in excess can disrupt hormonal balance and vitamin D levels. Second, and more critically, cow's milk contains growth hormones like insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1. This hormone, designed to make calves grow, can stimulate cell growth in humans, including prostate cells already prone to enlargement. We're not talking about an occasional glass. We're talking about consistent consumption over decades. The second enemy is red meat, specifically fatty and processed cuts. When you eat red meat, especially cooked at high temperatures, your body is exposed to inflammatory compounds. High intake of saturated fats, heme iron, and carcinogenic compounds formed when grilling or frying meat can directly contribute to prostate inflammation. And finally, the third enemy, refined sugars, cookies, cakes, sodas, white bread, anything that causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar triggers a body-wide inflammatory response. This systemic inflammation not only damages blood vessels and nerve cells, but also creates a hostile environment for your prostate. Think of these 3 foods as the fuel for the fire of prostate inflammation. Eliminating or significantly reducing these foods isn't just a good idea. It's a necessity if you want to restore your prostate's health. The evidence is undeniable. When I talk to my patients about the connection between diet and the prostate, most are skeptical at first. How can a simple diet be more effective than a pill, they ask. It's a fair question. After all, we live in a culture that seeks quick fixes. But the science, which is my only guide, is clear and irrefutable. A meta-analysis published in the journal Nutrients showed that dietary patterns rich in fruits, vegetables, and fish are associated with a significantly lower risk of benign prostatic hyperplasia (BPH) and its bothersome symptoms. Conversely, diets high in red meat, full-fat dairy, and saturated fats consistently showed the opposite. And the results aren't marginal. They're a real statistical difference in men's well-being. But the most powerful change I've seen is at the cellular level. Chronic inflammation is the root of nearly all chronic diseases, from diabetes to heart disease, and your prostate, with its dense structure and network of nerves and blood vessels, is particularly vulnerable. By eliminating inflammatory foods and replacing them with anti-inflammatory ones, you give your body a chance to repair itself. Think of it as giving your body a break from the war. It no longer has to be in constant defense mode. It can start to heal. But here's what makes it real. It's not just about data and studies. It's about real men with real problems who made a simple change and saw their lives transform. One of my patients, with his permission, let me share his story. His name is Robert, a 65-year-old retired school teacher. Robert came to my clinic after months of frustration with his prostate. He was getting up 5 times a night, felt exhausted all day, and his social life had dwindled because he feared being far from a bathroom. His diet was typical for a man his age: a bowl of cereal with whole milk in the morning, a ham and cheese sandwich at lunch, and red meat dinners several times a week. I told him to change one thing. I asked him to swap whole milk for almond or oat milk, making sure it had no added sugars. If red meat was the issue, try fish, chicken, or plant-based proteins. Make a swap, not an elimination. And if sugars were his nemesis, ditch the sodas, sweets, and white bread. Keep it simple. Replace them with fruits, sparkling water, and whole grains. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency. I tell my patients to eat more vegetables, especially those rich in antioxidants and lycopene, like cooked tomatoes and broccoli. These superfoods are not only anti-inflammatory, but have also been shown to directly support prostate health. And here's the key most people miss. This isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment. It's about taking control of your health. It's a daily ritual where you tell your body, I'm with you, I'm taking care of you. Now, let's talk about what you can expect after 30 days of doing this, because the changes go far beyond the bathroom and might just surprise you. What happens after 30 days? Something incredible happens when a man commits to a single healthy habit. Not 5, not 10, just one. I've seen it happen countless times in my clinic. A man walks in feeling defeated, skeptical, even a little embarrassed, but he comes back a month later and there's a spark in his eyes. His posture is different. He stands taller, speaks more clearly, laughs more freely, and I know, before he says a word, that something has changed. When you drastically reduce inflammatory foods for 30 days, it's not just about your prostate. Yes, many men notice fewer nighttime bathroom trips, a stronger stream, and a sense of complete emptying, but that's just the beginning. What really stands out is how your entire body starts to respond. Energy returns, mental focus sharpens, and deep sleep becomes a reality instead of a fantasy. That mental fog so many men attribute to age starts to lift. They feel lighter, clearer, more connected to themselves. One man told me he regained the confidence to go to a soccer game with his grandkids without worrying about bathrooms. Another said his wife asked if he'd started doing something different because he looked and felt happier. These aren't random stories. They're real biological changes. Less systemic inflammation means a healthier body means a healthier prostate, and a healthier prostate means you reclaim the freedom you thought you'd lost forever. And here's the most beautiful part. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to start with one simple change and the willingness to believe that change is still possible, because it is. I've seen it, I've lived it with my patients, and now it might be your turn. This is more than advice. It's a daily reminder that you're still alive, still capable, and still a complete man. The choice is yours. If this video gave you hope or taught you something valuable, take a moment to like, share, and leave a comment below. I read them all. Your voice helps this message reach more men who need it. And if you'd like to support the channel so we can keep creating honest science-based content, consider making a small donation. Every bit makes a difference. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these ingredients caught your attention the most? Which one will you try first? Leave a comment below. Your journey and experience might inspire another man to take that crucial first step. If this video helped you and brought valuable insights, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more practical, no-nonsense tips on men's health. And share this video with a friend. You never know who might need to hear this message today. Thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Jane, reminding you that you have the power to take control of your health and vitality. Stay strong.